She's in occupied East Jerusalem for us. Hamda, so how did we hear that Israel had changed its mind on this?
Initially, anonymous American officials had spoken to Israeli media saying that indeed Israel's prime minister's office had reached out to the White House to reschedule this visit by an Israeli delegation. When Al Jazeera reached out to the prime minister's office, they said they had no comment on the matter. However, the White House press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, confirming this afternoon in a briefing with press, saying that the Israeli prime minister's office did reach out to the White House, and they are looking at a date that is convenient for both parties. And when that date is reached, there will be an announcement from the White House. But it's interesting because earlier on Wednesday, the Israeli prime minister had essentially boasted about canceling this meeting, not only because the U.S. didn't use their veto power in the UN Security Council when there was a measure calling for a ceasefire in Gaza that was both lasting and sustainable, but the Israeli prime minister also said it was a message to Hamas that in the face of international pressure, Israel is not going to cave, even if it's from pressure from Israel's biggest ally like the United States. Now, the Americans were quite upset about the cancellation of this visit. In fact, the National Security Council spokesperson, John Kirby, spoke to Israeli media tonight and said that the Americans were hoping to hear from Israeli counterparts on how exactly they plan to invade Gaza's southernmost city of Rafah and what exactly they plan to do when it comes to evacuating nearly 1.5 million Palestinians who were asked to go there by the Israeli army as the rest of the Palestinian territory was being besieged. The Israeli prime minister has said that with or without American support, this invasion into Rafah is going to happen. But it shows you the changing dynamics between the two allies and how the United States has spoken quite publicly about being against this ground invasion into Rafah, saying that it would clearly be a mistake. But the Israelis remain adamant that it is simply going to happen. So this meeting with the Israeli delegation, as requested by the American President Joe Biden, will take place at a future date.
OK, thank you for that update. Hamda Salute there for us in occupied East Jerusalem. Let's return to Al Jazeera's senior political analyst, Marwan Bishara. What do you read into what's going on here? Netanyahu now reversing course and wanting to reschedule the meeting with the United States.
I think he understands that he made a mistake. It was foolish, stupid, short-sighted on his part. And in fact, some of his own coalition partners, like Gantz, called him out on it. He said, this was wrong, what you've done. We cannot give up on, and we cannot turn our back to, and we cannot humiliate our patrons, our partners, our protectors, our bankers, right, in Washington, the Biden administration. And I think Netanyahu realized that, and he wants to reverse what he's done. But instead of doing it diplomatically, as he should have, honestly, as he's not capable of, by saying, I made a mistake, he instead lied, as usual. You know, birds fly, snakes bite, Netanyahu lies. It's his nature. He's a liar, pathological liar. Everyone knows him to be a liar. His own partners, it's not my words, his own partners call him liars. One of his ministers, Smotrich, called him the liar of all liars. So he resorts to lies. Now, for long, he believes America is stupid. He thinks America is stupid. And he tells the Israeli public openly that only I can handle America. I know how to, he actually said that, I know how to manage America, winking at Israeli settlers, that he knows how to do it. And in fact, America did act countless times, stupidly when it comes to Israel. I don't know, for some reason, American officials go gaga when it comes to Israel. And Netanyahu thinks they are stupid. But at this point, 5 months into an unraveling genocide on TV screens in the United States and elsewhere, the Biden administration decided that it's time to wind down the war, to tone down the genocide. So they actually abstained for a United Nations resolution where the entire international community came and said the war must stop. So Netanyahu was angry at that because Netanyahu thinks Biden takes orders from him. He thinks America takes orders from Israel. The little rogue state that's dependent on the United States has been giving the Biden administration orders the past 5 months, what to do, what not to do, how to behave, how much money they should send, how much arms they should get, how they need to vote, which bases they should build in the Middle East and not, and so on and so forth. Well, the Biden administration has got a bit tired of this genocide, of getting the bad rap for it, terrible standing in the world and in the region and so on and so forth. So now Netanyahu is trying to fix it, right? By lying, by deceiving, by meeting with Republican senators like Rick Scott that he was talking to about that this was a message to Hamas. I don't think Hamas got the message because they didn't think it was for them. I don't think anyone in the United States believed that not sending 2 envoys to Washington was a message to Hamas. Everyone understood it was a message to Biden. Netanyahu knew it was a message to Biden. Gantz, who told him you shouldn't do that, knew it was a message to Biden. So Netanyahu's lying about it again. He fixes a lie with another lie with another lie, thinking that he can always deceive a world that has basically looked the other way as Israel carried on with this genocide. We will see if the Biden administration keeps it cool, does not receive these 2 envoys, and decides to slap Israel with sanctions. But then, that's probably wishful too.
Well, we'll have to see. Thank you for that. Al Jazeera senior political analyst Marwan Bishara there.